That would be the best case scenario. Or somebody.
Well, if we use the same company,
About to call to order the November 20th regular meeting, Martins Ferry City Council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, remain standing for the prayer by the clerk.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we ask your blessing tonight on this council meeting. Grant our city leaders the wisdom, patience, and understanding to make the best decisions for our city and its people. Amen.
Amen.
Have a roll call. Mr. Hunter.
Here.
Mr. Ushman.
Here.
Mrs. Armstrong. Here. Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Mr. Nyman.
Here.
Reverend Agnew.
Here.
Mr. Schramm.
Here.
You should all receive copies of the minutes of the last meeting. Are there any corrections? If not, then you will stand approved as received. Do you have any correspondence?
Yes, I received correspondence from the Department of Commerce regarding any objections. If we have any objections to the renewal of retail liquor permits in the city. And I have checked with the chief of police. He has no objections for these to be renewed.
This is for any and all liquor, no specifics. So ideally, under miscellaneous, if you have no objections following the chief's statement, then you could just make a motion and second that you have no objection. All right, then moving on, we'll go on with reports of the officers of the city. We'll start with the mayor.
I don't have a lot of things. I'm gonna ask for executive session at the end of, within the meeting, whenever council discussing for litigation purposes. I'd like to have the chief, fire chief, Sergeant West in there, and Mr. Stecker, along with city council, so, again, my report, street cleaner is done running for this year. So, you don't have to move your cars anymore. You're not gonna be ticketed anymore. So, if you got a ticket with the date on it, if it's dated after, whatever that last day was last week, take it down, give it to the chief, or talk to the chief. You don't need to call me or send me nasty messages, because I refer you to the chief anyhow. So, we may have a little bit of the worst weather here in the next couple of days. We're ready for the worst weather we have sold. Most of our stuff has all been checked out, tested, ready to rock and roll, so we're prepared for Mother Nature. Once again, I ask citizens and the people on our streets to give our guys room to work, to make sure that we don't have any incidences. And we will get to each and every street as quickly as we can. You have to remember, there's 39 miles of road in the city of Martins Ferry if you go up and down every street. We have an issue, and we are dealing with the issue, but I want the council to be aware. We seem to think that down by our salt bed is a dumping station for people's wood or whatever. They use it for bonfire over. We have a no dumping sign up there. Go down, put some bolts in, try to block them off. If you are caught dumping down there, you will be fined. So, because it's not our place to clean up everybody's stuff. We're just on a landfill. Take it to landfill. I gave you each a copy of the proposed lease contract that I made the changes to last week. That's a hard copy of it. If you look through there, there'll be a different print that highlights the difference on the print for changes. Pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions at all, you can contact myself. Sergeant West, you're the president, aren't you?
Correct.
You can contact Sergeant West. I did talk to Jack briefly today. Jack was out of the office here last week. It went well, so council, or we can bring it to the next meeting. This, our contract ends what, the end of the year?
January 15th, I believe.
Yeah, so we have plenty of time to, look over, it. I suggest everybody look over it and then we'll see if the money's there, and if you guys have any questions on any changes, you know, let us know, let one of us know. Vince and I talk about this, we talked about today a little bit. So, we'll work with all council to get a applicable agreement with everybody. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Any questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mayor. Service safety.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 3 things. One ordinance, the ARP funding ordinance for the water line extension. We need to approve that tonight, so I can send it on to make sure we get that funding for the water line extension from the water plant to the hospital and business district. And we have our engineers looking at some other things on how we can make sure we get water to everybody in town, or to the majority of everybody in town if something crazy happens. So appreciate that to be taken care of. The 2 other things, we had a big water line project out on East Road. I need council to approve the purchase order for $6,096. We did have a purchase order in, we just didn't know how much aggregate we're going to need, how much piping we're going to need. So when that changed, you know, when everything came in and how much we need to put in the holes to fill in and so on and so forth, it come in higher than what that original purchase order was. So I need council to please approve that for $6,096 so that can be taken care of, okay? The other purchase order that came into play was we had to have a special company come in and clean one of our major sewer lines down on Broadway and Grant area. And once they cleaned that pipe out and so on and so forth, we did not, again, know how much that cost was going to be, nor did they know until they got in there and looked at it. If council would please approve the purchase order for $7,290, I'd appreciate that, so we can take care of those 2 things. And again, once we cleaned that sewer, our guys went in and did what they needed to do to facilitate the sewer, to put the cement in and make sure everything was stable in that. So the cleaning put us to the point where we could then get in there and take care of the sewer base itself. So I appreciate anything on these 2 that council would approve those.
Mr. Sutak, who are the 2 companies that this is?
Sorry, I apologize for that. It would be Robinson Pipe.
For the 6,096?
Yes, Robinson Pipe Cleaning Company, that would be for the 7,290. Wilson Blacktop would be for all the aggregate.
Thank you.
The only other last thing I have, and I'm done, okay, Bob? I talked to Dave Lash, if weather permits, he says he's gonna try to get Spring Haven Drive done this year, okay? So let's pray that we get good enough weather to get it done. So I think we're all approved with that, and where we're gonna pay for it out of, so I think we're good to go on that. So, Madam President, I don't have anything else.
Any questions for Mr. Sutak? Thank you, Mr. Sutak.
Thank you, Madam President.
As the mayor said, Mr. Regis is unable to be here this evening, he's not getting well, but he did tell me he was doing better, he was able to come in for a short while today. And he did ask that you all look over all the financials that you should have received by now, and with some special attention to sanitation. Mr. Sutak, do you have anything or Mayor, about sanitation that we need to know? Is there anything?
We have one factor that's gonna be paid off here, so that will come off. We had a huge payment that put us back down into the red, so Andy and I discussed this yesterday. It's gonna be like, not gonna finish super strong, but we'll be paying next year. The packer being paid off, the other packer is new, so we shouldn't have to repair costs. You have to remember back 3-4 months ago, we had issue with the packer, down, trashing, dump trucks, we had 6 people on payroll instead of 4, or I'm sorry, we had 2 trucks, so we had 10 people on payroll instead of 6, which pretty much doubled our payroll, and it put us in a little bit of a dilemma. They are charging for extra sanitation, so if you're allowed 3 cans and you have 4, they're charging you extra for that can. That's done daily, turning the utility office, so we are watching that, hoping, we're pretty positive that we think it's gonna come out into black, the same as water. Water was in red last month. It started to creep up, so, we will advise you if we believe there has to be a rate adjustment or not, but we wanna see if this thing will come out on its own first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ask John a question. That lady, Mrs. Davis from Bel Air last week, had a question about her mother's driveway out on the pike where they replaced that water line. Was that fixed up for
It
her?
was fixing this.
Oh, good, that's good. Thanks. I was wondering. Thanks.
Police department, chief. Fire department, chief.
Our annual Christmas parade is set for November 29th, the Friday after Thanksgiving. Lineup begins at 4:30 p.m. near Jacob and Sons. The parade starts at 6:30 p.m. The route is the same as we did last year: Center Street to Zane, Zane to Hanover, Hanover to Fourth, Fourth to Jefferson, Jefferson to Zane, and then back north on Zane Highway, ending at the City Park. There are fireworks to be scheduled at the conclusion of the parade, and I would like to ask for permission to walk off the Zane Highway from Grant to Hickory at the end of the parade, as well as Hickory to the bank to allow for the fireworks in the necessary radius for the safety that he requires to set up there. Hickory to the bank, if we can, we'd probably do that a little bit earlier in the day versus trying to shut it down and get people out of there before the parade, or after the parade, I should say. So we may shut that down a little early.
Do you want it from 4th Street to Hickory, because I believe you're gonna have to have that area for all areas of fireworks?
So like Buddy's 8 days, we always just took it from whatever this route is here.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just diagonaled it to the, still allow cars to make the left-hand turn off of
So you just wanna go 5th Street to
5th Street down there
Zane.
to Zane. The annual department meeting for the fire department is going to be held on December 14th at the Alert Engine Company. The meeting starts promptly at 7:30 p.m. I would like to invite all council and city administration to attend if available.
What is that?
The Alert Engine Company on Zane Highway,
I mean, what's the date?
December 14th,
What time?
7:30 p.m. And the last thing I have, Mr. Stecker, the mayor, safety director, myself, we've been in discussion about the sale of one of our 2 old red Ford Explorer fire chief vehicles. After I spoke to Mr. Stecker this morning, there's an understanding for a route forward to sell the vehicle to Bridgeport Fire Department, as it was agreed upon by the past administration. Mr. Stecker will have to prepare an ordinance to be voted upon by the council at the next meeting. I welcome any discussions prior to next month's council meeting and answer any questions anybody may have prior to the ordinance being presented to you all. That way I can answer questions at the time. That is all I have.
Are we still doing 10,000?
That is my understanding, yes, ma'am.
I guess I misunderstood that. I thought it was evaluated at more.
Mr. Stecker can advise a little more, but there's a path forward to where it doesn't have to be more than 10,000.
Any other questions? Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Mr. Stecker, do you have anything?
I can,
Or a response to?
yeah, I can elaborate on that if council would like. What we can do is you can sell it. The general rule is you have to sell it for fair market value. because it is going to a political subdivision, you can make donations to other political subdivisions, but that would have to be an act of council. So we can do an ordinance that would say, we're selling it for 10,000 and we're donating the excess fair market value to Bridgeport. And then you guys can pass that if you so chose. So that's how you can do it.
Any questions about that?
This is for one of the trucks.
Fire chief vehicle.
Vehicle. I think it's a pickup truck.
It's a SUV, it's the old red Ford Explorer.
SUV for Explorer.
Mrs. Armstrong?
Mr. Stecker, can you explain that again? If, I know that we said it was,
So say it's worth 20,000, I don't know. We would essentially be selling it for 10 and then making a donation of an addition, of the extra 10 to Bridgeport.
are we actually making a donation?
No, you're just selling it for less than the fair market value.
Oh, so in theory, we're giving a donation?
Correct.
Okay.
You're not actually
Yes.
giving them any cash or anything,
Yes,
right?
I understand.
Anything else? Thank you, Mr. Stecker. Are there any other administration or reports?
I did wanna thank administration and the city workers for putting up the Christmas decorations.
We're still not finished, we just started today, it's gonna take a little while to get them all up, but we got the process.
Mrs. Armstrong?
I guess I have another question. Was there ever a discussion with Bridgeport about the possibility of paying more than more than $10,000?
There was, in previous administration with, past Chief Kelly and, Jack Regis Jr., they had made a deal with Bridgeport that they would sell them the car for 10,000. They've had that money set aside now for over a year, because we were supposed to get the other chief's vehicle back on lease, last August or September. We didn't get it until this summer. So, I would like to honor past Chief Kelly and, Jack Regis Jr.'s promise to Bridgeport that that's what the cost of the vehicle is gonna be. They've had it sitting there waiting, Bridgeport does need the vehicle, so.
If there are no other reports to get, or move on to committees, finance and audit.
No report.
Mr. Rogers?
No report.
Ordinance, Reverend Agnew?
Just the ordinance committee, we met last week on the deputy auditor, and the consensus of the committee was recommended no changes.
Sewer sidewalk, Mr. Hunker?
No report.
Safety, Mr. Schramm?
Item safety is on the Dodge Charger for the police department. I got a price on it, the value, what it was worth, and, turned over to police chief and, work on trying to get it solved, either throughout the state or the neighboring states around, see if anybody's interested in purchasing.
Okay. Service, Mr. Schramm?
No report.
Cemetery, Mr. Nami?
No report.
Public relations, Ms. Rushman?
No report.
Code, Reverend Agnew?
No report.
Real estate or utility, Mr. Hunker?
No report.
Income tax, Mrs. Armstrong?
No report.
If there are no other committees to report, then we'll move on to hearing if any resident relative to any matter which may properly be brought to the attention of council. If any resident would like to speak, please state your name and address, and limit your speaking to 5 minutes, and then decide by council.
Thank you. The name is Richard Horn, 915 Virginia Street. This question has to be the financial status of the city of Burns Ferry for the rest of this year, and how optimistic are you for next year, financially speaking? Looking good, is it?
Yeah, unfortunately, Mr. Reach is unable to speak on that. According to today's, cash flow report, which seems to be knowing. Okay, in some funds, like I said, we have a problem with sanitation. The rest of them look like they're holding their own. I would say we're doing great, but we're not doing badly. Next year, we're hoping to, I think we turned the corner on the dilemma that we were in. We're heading in the right direction. We anticipate staying in the right direction, but we never know what's gonna come to us.
That's true. Thank you. Also, too, your comments regarding the street sweeper and the scheduling for this year, will that be continuing into next year as far as the April and November?
That would be my recommendation to council, and they would decide how it's gonna be done. It seemed to work this year. I suggest we continue on for next year, because first of all, street cleaners are notorious for breaking down. And we take the salt and the road grime off in the winter, and we take the leaves up in the fall. And your own street or your house, if you want to clean it out, wasn't there yet. You know, the issue is, and the reason council will approve this basically is when that was designed, each family would have one car. Now each family has 10 cars, and you have limited parking areas.
Thank you. Also, any update regarding repair work to be done on the city building?
We are working on that. We got temporary, last week they approved, or I'm sorry, last council meeting, they approved the bid to have a temporary patch put on the roof to keep it winterized. I met with Mr. Regis today. We're gonna meet next week on some funding issues. I never had a chance to meet with Andy and Jeff at the same time, so we need all the players to be able to figure funding out, so yeah, I mean, it's gotta be fixed.
Thank you. Any update to report regarding the Austin Masters situation?
Austin Madison bankrupt. I don't know about the DNR situation, they're still cleaning up the buildings.
Yeah, that was the main question as far as the cleanup.
You know, I've heard different people sending me messages, you know, who's removing the waste, who's not removing the waste. We don't control that. DNR picks who they are working with. We don't pick who they're working with. They're paying the bill, we're not.
Okay, so it's progressing.
Progressive.
Understood, thank you. Also, too, I haven't heard anything for a while regarding the Whitesville Area Chamber of Commerce. Hopefully all is well, but I haven't heard anything for a while. Everything good? I heard that there might be a new director possibly, or?
Yeah, always. Chamber.
What was the question?
Regarding an update into the chamber, is there a new director in the chamber?
We do have a new director, Whitney, I can't pronounce your last name, is replacing Alicia. Alicia took a full-time job at Kendall Behavioral Services. So Whitney's gonna be stepping into that role, for the chamber and Project Forward. And otherwise, everything else is going well. We'll start getting ready for the Academic Awards banquet in January.
Very good. Everything's moving in the right direction. Thank you. Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I have a question for the mayor. I'm probably opinion, but I don't think I need to buy a big mouth. I noticed down at the old mill down there, are we city collecting B&O taxes? Do they collect them? Because I know there's work being done in there.
City doesn't have B&O taxes.
Or is it getting any money, any income?
City income.
Well, we would get any employees that are based in the city of Martinsburg. So we have to be employees based here who get income tax. It's kind of an unfair situation because we have, especially with asphalt plants, there are truck drivers come from all over, and companies are outside of Martinsburg, they don't pay tax one day, we know our roads. But I don't know how to resolve the situation.
I just was wondering because I know in the back end of the mill there's business being conducted, there's coal being loaded and stuff like that. Does golfers have to pay for any of that?
If they're employed and their position is in that building, they would be considered an income tax paying person.
That's
Okay?
That's my.
If they're a truck driver and they bring in and whoever is running a crane
Yeah.
and putting them on, that's his base workplace,
That's what I'm
okay?
saying, yeah.
So that person should be paying income tax,
Okay,
okay?
because we've noticed, down there, they won't let us in, but we've noticed
Yeah.
business on the back end.
Well,
Okay,
like I said, we see a lot of trucks going up and down that road, believe me, and we wish we could get half the income tax from all the trucks there, but they have to be based, that's their home base for their employment.
I mean, we've seen coils going in and out.
Yeah.
Okay, I just curious.
Yeah, to answer your question, Frank, you call me Friday, I'll have you an answer for sure, but I'll call Mr. Ballmer myself.
Great, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other citizens? If not, that will take us to reading and consideration of ordinances and resolutions.
A resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Martins Ferry to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Federal Appalachian Regional Commission Area Development Program and to execute contracts as required.
This is for the reading of the resolution. What's the pleasure of council? Mr. Hunter.
Suspend the rules, please.
Motion by Mr. Hunter that we suspend the rules, second by Mr. Schramm. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll have a roll call vote.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Mr. Ashman?
Yes.
Mrs. Armstrong?
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Reverend Agnew?
Yes.
Mr. Shan?
Yes.
By your action, you have suspended the rules for 3 readings. Do you know what's the further pleasure of council? Mr. Schramm.
Make a motion to pass the resolution ordinance as read.
I have a motion by Mr. Schramm that we pass the resolution as read, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? No, have a roll call vote.
Mr. Schramm?
Yes.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Mr. Ashman?
Yes.
Mrs. Armstrong? Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Reverend Agnew?
Yes.
And the resolution is declared passed. I don't believe there's any other legislation. We should then just move on to miscellaneous business. We do have the request from Mr. Regis. I believe you all have forefront technology estimate that he gave us last meeting that he had asked if we would approve. And if you want to approve that, then I would need a motion. We have any business under the zoning
Yes. Are we gonna approve the two?
laws? Yeah, that's my next statement.
Okay.
If we don't have anything, we do have 2 POs that need.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Hunker that we approve 2 POs, one for six. Can I do these together? Because we have, okay. That's always been a question I have to start asking. One for $6,096 to Wilson Blacktop, and a second for $7,290 to Robinson Pipe Clean. Do I have a second? Second by Mrs. Armstrong. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll have a roll call vote.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Mr. Ashman?
Yes.
Mrs. Armstrong?
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Reverend Agnew?
Yes.
Mr. Schramm?
Yes.
And the motion is declared passed.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You should have all received financial reports. Mr. Ashman?
I think basically just to finish your sentence, I would like to make a motion that we approve this.
Motion by Mr. Ashman that we approve the financial reports and note that they will be made part of the minutes. I have a second by Reverend Agnew. Any discussion? If not, we'll have a roll call. Well, never mind. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That motion carries. Mr. Schramm?
Make a motion to receive reports of officers and management of the city, incorporate these into the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Schramm to note that we received reports of officers of the city and they'll also be included in the minutes. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have one thing we do need to discuss. and that would be the December meeting. We talked about that earlier. I spoke with Mr. Regis today. He did request, if council had no objection, that we postpone, cancel the December 18th meeting and reschedule when he has the end of year. That's what we've done the last couple of years.
Works fine.
I have a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Humphrey that we cancel the December 18th to be rescheduled for legislation at a later date when the reports are filed. Do I have a second? Second by Reverend Agnew. Any discussion about that?
Let me just ask, we're having one on the 4th.
Right.
Is that necessary then?
Second.
I don't
You
know.
should do.
Yeah, we usually have that. The last one will be to pass the budget, and that's all.
Okay.
It'll basically be legislation, this will be the one for business. Okay, if not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And that motion carries. We will cancel the December 18th meeting. But we will reschedule for the vote, so don't think you can take a holiday, a week holiday. Mrs.
I
Armstrong?
just wanted to ask, do we need to put a stamp of approval on the liquor license renewals? Well, then I'll make that motion.
A motion by Mrs. Armstrong to note that council has no objection to current permits. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Ashman. Any discussion about that? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That motion carries. Forefront, the cell phone and phone estimate that we got, does council want to take any action on that? Mr. Regis gave it to us, it was just an approval. I don't know what the time limit is on
Yeah. Did we discuss this last time?
that. We did discuss it last time. He gave us the copy of the. We'll just let it go till next meeting until, he's here, so he's here.
One comment on
Mr.
that, Madam President. I have in my notes, for what Mr. Regis said last meeting, I just have proposed for phones and internet, new phone systems and internet, projecting if we, approve this, we would be saving about $392 a month. I think that's the figure we presented to the council. But we can still wait till the next meeting and wait till Mr. Regis gets here to discuss it more.
Thank you, Mr.
You're welcome.
This is
Do
option.
we need a motion to, do you want a motion to go into executive session?
I do.
All right.
We're done. Motion is by Mrs. Armstrong that we want to executive session, second by Mr. Ryan.
We should state the reason why.
Right, and the reason why is, just okay, this was under Ohio Revised Code 121, 22, 3, and 4, for pending litigation and collective bargaining. Is there any discussion about that? If not, I will roll call vote.
Mrs. Armstrong?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Nyman?
Yes.
Reverend Agnew?
Yes.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
And Mr. Ashman?
Yes.
Motion carries, and we will leave regular session and go into executive session. And Mayor, who would you like to say?
The chief was, our chief is gone back to state on the fire department.
Excuse me.
sign this, and we'll run an apple black pen.
Here. No, put that. Okay, guys.
That's official.
I'm sorry, Bob, is that?
Yes, there is.
Beat up in school. Use that red thing. He owns probably both sides of the face.
John.
That's all.
Copy that so I can email that over.
Should they get a drum on their lawsuits and just relook together? That's what you're saying.
You did get that.
Mrs. Armstrong.
Make a motion to allow executive session.
I believe they're wrong.
We have one.
Okay. Work together.
If you would,
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Mrs.
Get it
Armstrong.
done and get it done.
I said I make a motion to allow executive session.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Armstrong, we go out of executive session.
I'll
So
second.
then you can finish. Second by Mr. Conkle. Any discussion on that? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. You can talk easily in open.
Mrs. Armstrong,
Yes?
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Mr. Nyman,
Yes.
Reverend Agnew,
Yes.
Mr. Hunker,
Yes.
Mr. Rushman.
Yes.
We're now in regular session.
To answer your question, I believe I put a stop to all the legal proceedings right now. And, I mean, they may agree to work with us, they may not, I'm assuming that they will. You know, I'll talk to administration here, Paul, or Mr. Gully, who's done with whatever they gotta do, Paul notified me that it's okay to talk to them, and I'll go talk to Mr. Vogel and address the school board if necessary. And tell them that we have to look at our options on the road. I'm not comfortable leaving along my road open if we own this month, because the liability is substantial there. I have no problem with it being open to the buses, if the road is going to be wide enough, the buses can go on, we will put physical barriers up there to keep them from going over that slip. Pedestrian traffic will not be allowed on that road. It's gonna be emergency vehicles, city-owned vehicles, emergency vehicles, and school buses. That would be my recommendation.
Mrs. Armstrong.
I make a motion that we allow Mr. Stecker to start the process of the ordinance as described.
I have a motion by Mrs. Armstrong that we allow the law director to proceed, I don't know how to say this, Mr. Snooker, to proceed with the.
Preparing the necessary documents to accept dedication of
Alumni
Road
School
and
District.
School Road.
I just wanted to say it right, it's okay. To proceed with the to the acceptance of school and alumni. That motion by Mrs. Armstrong, do I have a second? Second by Reverend Agnew. Is there any
Reverend Agnew, you should probably, not
Abstain
second
from
it.
that.
and
Yeah,
abstain.
I'm sorry, Reverend Agnew, I should have thought about it. Mr. Rushman,
I'm teaching you.
is there any discussion
Would you read that again? How are you reading?
to allow the law director to proceed with preparing the documents that will allow the acceptance of school and alumni roads?
I thought this was just going to allow him to have an ordinance that you would more or less stop the process of everything. I didn't think we were gonna do that.
Yeah, in order to stop a lot,
It is
maybe
the
we should.
acceptance.
Really?
They're gonna stop it too.
Just
Should we have a stipulation in there that as far as, I don't mind the repaving and all that other stuff, but can't we say severe repair or something like that in there?
Once we accept ownership of the road, it becomes ours. And at that point, we have to maintain the roads to the best of our ability. Council can decide Alumni Road, if they wanna keep it open, if they wanna close it, what parameters you wanna put on, that'll be a council decision. And we'll enforce your decision, whatever you direct us to do, the whole board's gonna do as a city.
I just feel like that almost leads us to be responsible for that.
Well, no, almost.
Yeah.
There's no almost.
That's what I mean, yeah.
That's the whole discussion.
The lawsuit's not a monetary lawsuit, the lawsuit is to the ownership of the road.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll have a roll call.
Mrs. Armstrong. Yes. Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Nyman.
No.
Reverend Agnew.
Abstain.
And, Mr. Hunter.
Yes.
Mr. Escher.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Hunter,
I'd like to make the motion, we're sure the streets that the fire department
I
needs to.
think I have it all. You're here, I'll just read it out to you. Do we allow them for
Yeah,
Christmas parade?
Christmas parade, right.
I've got Zane to Hickory and Hickory to Fourth. Sound right?
Say to head over to Fourth.
Oh, I'm
Or
sorry.
you're saying for shutting it down, I'm sorry, yes. Grant to Hickory, and then, Hickory from Zane to Fifth.
To
Just
Fourth.
like we did before.
Mhm.
Yes.
Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Mike. Any discussion on that? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That motion carries. Yeah. Any committee requests, I'll be bringing them with me next time, so if you have any last requests, my final reminder.
We like to get off committees?
No. But if you had a committee you want to switch on or you have an issue, you can't be off. Mrs. Armstrong, you have
Going to make a motion to,
adjourn.
yeah, you said it.
Motion by Mrs. Armstrong, second by Mr. Humphrey, that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. We will adjourn with a salute to the flag.
Yeah, right.
I think this year was, we are.
Oh,
You can't.
So, Chris,
Robin's gonna kill me.
once we.
Anything better? Good?
Yeah. Sure, my son
That is.
Well, they have to accept our, Andy,
About thanking you
I was there, I saw you, my brother was one right behind you.
I just think it's gonna
I should have.
Back from that.
All right.
If he doesn't, then
Is Suzanne?
Okay, Mr. No.
It was, I know, I talked to
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if we can in it. I'm not
We
sure.
don't
All right, I was down at,
It may have to accept it, I don't know if we can just.
McDonald's about 6:30, and Cessna was down there. I was same time.
That's just
Yeah, oh, we were talking.
I was always.
Funding. He was, you were just like,
Still
Still alive.